All right, classroom, we are here again in the Academy of Wildman. I'm not going to need to catch you up because you do your own just diligence. All right. I gave you all the footwork and the other audio. So now you are in the next class. You are listening now to the next session of this subject. Now let's get down to the brass tacks here. Now, what is it that your churches tell you now? That the fall of man was because of Adam and Evedom for dummies? For Adam and Eve, right? Then they tell you it's because Adam and Eve sinned. Didn't they say, and aren't they saying today that because the reason why we are enduring or we have to deal with that type of fall situation I just described to you, where we are passing away, we are struggling, we are dealing with the you can say the fall of the westernized civilization. They'll tell you it's because what? Because you are a sinner or because you're sinning, or basically, they've said before, the reason why the fall is happening is because we are sinners and we are shaped in iniquity. Now remember, I gave you historical facts. I went back to the past and told you how it all began. But this is what they're telling you now. Now they're saying it's because Adam and Eve ate an apple. Think about it for a second. Think about how silly it is. Because Adam and Eve ate an apple that was basically made to give them what was that? Knowledge, or some people say the difference between good and evil. All right? That's what they're telling you. You see how much of a nonsense it don't even talking about it makes my stomach hurt. You know, I sound like a 5-year-old child talking this nonsense, but you know what? We still believe it. You know, meaning you go, oh, okay, I'll believe it. Please send me my hat, my shirt, and my chair. First thing tomorrow morning. But that's what they say. And again, something so senseless and illogical. What would happen is the way that they got you was when you was a child. When you are a kid, you can tell a child anything because a child's mind is based on fascination. They're fascinated about practically anything and everything. So you can lie to them about the fairy tale. You can lie to them about Santa Claus. You can lie to them and tell them there's ghosts in the closet and they will be scared. They will believe you. They will believe you that you tell them that this car, if you point to a car, that car can float if you if you turn the ignition switch on. If you turn it on, child, this car is going to float, and they will believe you. At first they say, oh, well, I don't know what it does. Oh, cool. Could you imagine little Chris would say, oh, cool. It can? Oh, wow. Let me see. So when little Chris say, let me see, then you come up with other types of stories and other type of falsifications, illogical excuses. And you come up with even more longer stories to prevent himself from asking questions. And then, of course, you start putting you put a Minky in his drink. The Minky in his drink is the contradictions that your religions give you, and specifically the Bibles. They'll tell you this. Well, thou shalt not question God. Thou shalt not question. Just go along with it. Just believe. Just have faith. This is their backup plan, and they got several other backup plans should you have the ability to wake up. Should you begin to say, wait a minute, if this car floats, then how come I haven't seen it? If this car floats, then how come everybody's not floating? If this car floats, then why you got to put gas in it? Why do you have to do this or whatever? And then, of course, after 50, 56 years, 60 years, the car have never floated. And because you have been so programmed, indoctrinated, and lied to, and pretty much comfortable and not questioning the fact that you never seen it float, but the pastors are saying, just believe, have faith, just keep getting on your knees. One day this car is going to float because it can actually float. Trust me, it can float. Then you know what he'll do? You know what the church would do? Look on the news. The car is floating. Look. And you see the car like in a flood. You see the car like flooding in a tsunami. All right. You see the car flooding in Texas somewhere. So you see all these cars flooding, right? And the pastor will say, look, it's floating. See, this is evidence that I'm telling you the truth. This is evidence right here. Look, the car is actually floating. You know, in us still, because we have not questioned, because we don't know what logic is, because we're still chewing on cow feed. You know, we love chewing on hay. You know, we're in the barnyard like the donkey with two big teeth. You know, that's us. You know what we'll do? We are so fantasized with things that don't make sense and is illogical. What we'll do is, you know what? It's true. The cars are floating. So that means the pastor told the truth. That means it is really revelations. No, it's true that we are in the end times, because these cars are actually floating, because there's floods, there's earthquakes, everything is shaking. So he's telling the truth. It must be true, because we're seeing devastation. But you have always and never thought about, never even considered the bamboozle that they put over your eyes when you was 12 years old. The moment you said, wait a minute, how come the car is not floating? I want to see it float right now. That he never answered that question. He answered that question through deception, through contradiction, through lies, through stories, through mythical ideal, and saying, because I am your pastor, you have no choice but to listen to me, and I am the voice of God. So don't worry about God standing here. I'm the voice of God. No. You can't talk to God. I can. No. God's not going to open up the doors to your church. No. He's not going to do what he did in Noah's Ark and close this big 2-ton door for him. Nonsense. So, no, just to stand here and believe what I tell you from this book. That's it. And that's all. You know what you'll do? You'll go right ahead and you'll open up that box, right? That I'm going to send you tomorrow morning. You'll open up your chair box. You'll see the chair in it. You know what you'll do? You'll sit on it. You'll sit right down like the pastors or the churches want you to do while they're spitting over the pulpit. You'll sit down, you'll put the shirt on and the hat, and you'll be happy right there until you're 70, 80 years old and you're no longer here. That's what you do. Never questioning, what the hell did they just say? What the hell did Jadis do to me? What did they do to my mind? What are they telling me? Now, let's go a little bit further with this, because some of y'all thinking, no, you're not really thinking. I'll take that back. Let me give you some basic footwork here, and we're going to break it down like adults. We're going to be nice about this. And as a matter of fact, let me see if I can, I got a fan going on out here, and I know you hear the buzz on the background. Let me see what I can do to calm this down just for a couple of minutes. I'm going to have to turn it back on, though, just to let you know. I'm warning you now. I'm going to have to turn it back on. Let's see what I can do here. All right. That should be a little more quieter. I know it changes your ear. I try to keep things as cordial and professional as possible, but I have to get the word out. Sometimes I got to make the best possible what I have. I got to do what I can with what I have. Like I said, I'm just an everyday guy, just like you. I have been gifted and endowed with being able to save people from the matrix. So that's what I do. Let's go to the basics here, and I'm gonna go to the core of what we deal with today. I'm going now to the modern day here. All right. Let's talk about what love is. I'm going to put love first. There's going to be actually 3 or 4 sessions here. I don't know what it's going to lead us to, because, and some of this is going to be instincts. The reason why sometimes I go off subject, because it's instincts and it's a part of the energy, and it's going to be good for somebody, and it tells the story differently, and it might enlighten you even more than the lesson itself. All right. So I don't know what this is going to lead us to. But let's go by the basics understanding of what we've been taught that love is. And I'm going to use some words that the churches say, or your indoctrination, or your circles. Okay. They'll say love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long suffering. Love provides. Love teaches. Right? You got that? Amongst other things that you can say that it is. Of course, you can imagine there's a lot of people who think love is donkey dunking. That's just how dumbed down we are today, though. That's how deficient we are in the quality of ourselves. And when you come across someone such as your opposite sex, and this actually most times is a female doing this, most times. Okay, because of the way that they've been raised. It's a real good red flag. It's good for red pill content here. Okay, when they are saying that because you donkey dunk with them, that they think you love them, or in this expression of love, that girl is telling you that that's been her entire life. Okay, so you with somebody who's been with other bodies as well. And so she thinks that because this guy came around and flipped her upside down a couple of times in the bed, that is a form of love. All right, so she would never understand what real love is, and she would demand a very dry, empty relationship from you. And you'll find yourself arguing, and you'll find yourself either divorced, or you won't be with her in the future because of that very reason. Because when you are expressing love to her in the way that it's supposed to be given, she won't understand. All right. I just had to put that in there. Now, let's put down here what they talked about God for a moment. Let's talk about God, your favorite hero. All right. Now, I did a little background on the word God, and some of you don't know where it came from. And I'm not going to school you with the weight right now because it's a large apparatus and I really don't feel like wasting my breath. But I would tell you this. One of the main things that you need to understand is the description that was given to you by a human mind. Anthropomorphic ideas once again. And when you say God, that will be more of a title, not a person. That's the same way where people say Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is not a person. It will be considered Jesus the Christ. Christ was a title, not a last name. If that's a problem for you, then here we go. Give me your address and I will send you those products first thing tomorrow morning. I'm not going to waste my time here trying to debate with you or try to convince you of what I already know. This is the 2020s. If you don't know this already, you have the problem, not Morpheus. I'm just the messenger. You just refuse to learn. Now, this is what's said about God. First of all, we all have been taught that God is superior, basically. God is the creator of all. God is merciful. God is the King of kings. Wow, what an expression. More, there's more Christians that actually say that than anybody else. They even got songs about that too. And here's another one. This is one thing that should actually come to your mind. That this one thing is, this right here is it's the tipping point of practically a lot of debates, arguments, and people who don't quite understand because they don't know that they have the ability to change their own reality. They want other people to change it for them. God gives free will. God created free will. Okay. I made another audio and it's not up here yet. I don't know if y'all ready for it, but I'm gonna give you the title of what it is and be expecting it. Because if I feel like the time is right, I will post it and give it to you. But right now I got to hold off because I know that we are not quite ready for it yet. I'm not judging you. You may be ready for it, but there may be 90% of them who still got their head in the ground. And if they listen to this, then they're going to flip over. They're going to flip over and lose their mind that they've never taken control of anyway. It's controlled by your indoctrination, mind you. Okay. So it's called free will. Free will and prayer is a joke. All right. Free will and prayer is a joke. I broke that down in details as well. And as you could be demising or thinking right now, how am I able to speak like this and still be sane? That's one thing you should be wondering. How is Morpheus able to talk like this, and he's still insane? I mean, insane is funny. He's still sane. No, maybe he's the devil incarnate. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people and those who don't agree with me will be thinking about that. This guy's evil. This guy is trying to put people on the wrong path. This guy is trying to crush hopes and expectations of an indoctrination of our programming. Don't let him take the wires off the back of our head. Don't let him lie to us. It's funny. Think about this. So here I am, this messenger from many years now, here in 2020, the 2020s as an S, plural. Okay. You in the back of the classroom, stop chewing that bubble gum, sit down and pay attention. Okay. You would think, okay, you say, this guy is out of his mind. Why is he talking like this? How can he talk like this? He's lying to us. Because you really don't want to accept that you yourself have been lied this whole time by the system itself, by the very people who you trusted, but you knew them since you was a child. This has been given to you since you was 1 year old and you never questioned it. Or some of you 32 or 42 because you will live a bad life. You'll hurt yourself. You will do crazy things. You will be disconnected from your consciousness and your instincts. Then all of a sudden what happens is you meet the crossroad where you would deal with a horrible situation and you just so happen to be saved and somebody helps you, somebody take you out of prison. Somebody will pay your bill. Somebody will buy you a car. Somebody will do something miraculous for you. And the first thing you'll say is, well, I guess God must be real because I've been saved from this yada, yada, yada situation. Same thing as what I talked about the floating car. Because of your experience and because of your length of experience and understanding of what it really is. So therefore, when I come to you and I say, wait a minute, it's not true. Look at it. Pay attention. You'll say, oh, man, you full of no way. No, man, you the devil, man. You must be Satan incarnate. Well, of course, you're going to reject me because I wasn't with you when you was 2 years old. But let me be just like them. And I have a church and you're in my church. And I'm telling you this since 1 year old. By the time you're the age that you are now, okay, let somebody else come around and tell you the story of gesture and, God is this and just close your eyes and pray and everything's going to be all right. You'll look at them like, dude, I'm not stupid. Like, no, you telling a lie. You are a lie. You're not telling me the truth. You see? So if you reverse it, it will be the same. So a wise mind or a person who's willing to learn, they'll sit down and say, wait a minute, maybe what I thought I knew, maybe that may not be what I think I know. Maybe my little low. Hold on here. I'm getting all kind of distractions trying to prevent me from giving you this facts here. All morning long, there's been distractions and my clip has been cut up at least 7 or 8 times. Because the energy do not want me to tell you this. It don't want me to. Because I'm on a very hot topic here. I'm on something that you need to hear and the outside environment don't want me to tell you this. This audio has been I've been distracted trying to create this audio more than any other audio I've ever created. So that means I'm on to something. I'm on to something. And you say, and here's the mindless people, the ones who are mindless. They say, maybe that's God trying to prevent you from. No. Okay, listen, genius. If it was God trying to distract me to prevent me from telling you these facts, don't you would think if it's almost like being in a courtroom or you standing before the judge, it will be a lovely situation to say, no, Morpheus, you're wrong. Go ahead and say how you want to say, speak how you want to speak, but I'm going to prove that you're wrong and make you look stupid in front of everybody on YouTube and the outside world. Okay. But if this person's trying to prevent you of saying something, that means you are saying something that makes sense. You're telling the truth. Okay. So you need to stop blaspheming and making your God look like you and use your human-like anthropomorphic stupid mentality, okay, and making you think, oh, this is logical because God's trying to stop you. No, you're bashing God in the face. Now you're talking about your own interpretation. If anything, he should be looking at you, or it should be looking at you like fool, like fool. Don't you think I wouldn't do something like that? I want him to keep talking stupid. Duh, right? So no, the distraction is because I'm saying something that's going to save somebody's life. That's what it is. And the energy of Agent Smith do not want me to open up your eyes. Do you understand? It don't want me to tell you what you need to know. So it's trying to distract me and prevent me from this message. But I'm going to keep it going because you need to hear this. You need to. So therefore, the message, I already told you about the audio that I created, Free Will and Prayer is a Joke. All right. I already told you about that. And yes, it did distract me. And yes, it did throw me off topic, but I'm going to find my instinct. Trust me, I'm going to find the energy again. I'm not going to let something stop me from saving people or opening up your mind. And exactly what I was saying, oftentimes people, they do not want to be open-minded because they want to be used to their indoctrination, because they don't understand the flip side of it is that they are programmed. So when someone else comes in and tell you something differently, it will be best for you to open up your mind and hear what they have to say and evaluate it by what you know logic is, because life is a series of adjustments. Everything we have today, whether you want to believe it or not, or whether you want to sit back and suck on a placebo, or for some of you, your thumb, okay, and disbelieve, or shall I say, disconnect yourself from logic. The past was a development year. You understand? I'm calling it 1 year. But the past was actually, the path was an experimental time. It was a time where humanity was experimenting with everything. Everything was an adjustment. Everything was, I'm not so sure. Even today is the same way. There are medications, there's pills, there's items, there's devices, there's technology that isn't absolute. I think it's absolute, not obsolete. There are things that are not absolute. They're not perfect, and they're not going to be great. So the next year later, there's going to be a better discovery of what that might be. Or there's going to be a different way of doing something that you realize, wait a minute, us eating this type of food created cancer. Or us doing that created this type of back pain. So what happens is, year to year, humanity tries to get better from what they used to know. So could you imagine during that time, without all the research that you have today, without Google, without your dumb phone, without your so-called backwards walking ancestors and parents? I'm not talking about those who are doing their place in their job. I'm talking about those who did not pass down the word or knowledge like they were supposed to because they were too stuck on themselves. All right. Didn't do their just diligence. So therefore, the developments of the past is all that we are witnessing this far up onto the scale. They didn't know anything about what you say, God is great. They'll say, who? What are you talking? What? While they're building whatever that they're doing, while they're building their pyramid, while they're in their tribals, picking up water, walking around with clay vastes, okay, and cloths that they've been getting from animals that they had to go and hunt and get, right? That cost them expensive amount of money and time. Gold during that time, and other items that they had to trade, wives and children, in order to survive. You understand? So our sense of morality, our sense of justification, and our sense of our community that we have today has been developed by social engineering and programming, and a billions of, I won't say billions of years, but I could say that, but I'm just going to say thousands of years of readjusting our perception. And then now when you open up your eyes, if you open up your eyes versus then there wasn't a lot of power dynamic then, meaning there were people who wanted control and power, but it was more of an open plane. There were wars, and there were wars from people who wanted dominance. There was war from cultures who wanted dominance. There's people who wanted to take over and change things based on the benefit for themselves. They wanted to suck up all the water. They wanted to take all the gold. They wanted to take all the jewels and the items that every culture or whatever culture or group had. So the wars continued on. And as a matter of fact, if you want to go to the modern wars that we continuously had, or something that you can remember, there's World War I, World War II, okay, and things like that, that were just remnants of all the conditions that have happened in the past. It doesn't matter how it happens. It just tells you, what is it with the human nature? What happened to them? Why is it that is being spurned and happened? Are occurring? Because inside of them are certain people, whoever that they may be, whether they're foreign, whether they are, here to create a catastrophe or a mass catastrophe. The fact is, there are some people who wanted dominance, control, and power. So they did anything and everything they could to gain that. But it was haphazard because the world wasn't so, as we know of today. We'll say the world isn't so big, it's a small world. But at that time, it wasn't as calculable as it is today. It wasn't as easy. But through series of adjustments, through series of programming, through series of ideas and tests and trials, they found a way to categorize you. They found a way to get you. They found a way to put you underneath the bus. They found a way to make sure that you are underneath their thumb with a rope around your neck. They found a way to do it. And it's called a system. Do you get that? So therefore, if you're talking about, well, Morpheus, you are out of your mind. No, you are out of your mind because you don't know history. History, mankind wasn't always modest. Mankind weren't always clean that you see them today. All these shops you got, the way that you cut your chicken, even the hospitals and the way that doctors have to diagnose people, okay, and bring them in there, it wasn't always clean like that. You understand? The police officers weren't always wearing a badge like that. They weren't always walking around being respectful or being a gentleman or a gentle lady that they are today. Years ago, there were groups of people who were vigilantes. They were thugs. You understand? There were people who wanted power, and in front of them was other people who paid them to do so, or actually put them in that position in order to gain their power. If you don't understand that, you got a problem. Therefore, if you're saying, well, God was yesterday, today, and forever, well, wherever that God was back in those days, in the ABCD days, okay, he was nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, when you compare what was going on now, then versus now, and your special God was supposed to understand the conditions that we're going through today, and your modern day, nothing have changed yet. But a person who you are calling God, who's actually standing there with his eyes closed and his ears plugged to your issues, or the issues of the Westernized civilization. Don't make me go there. Do not make me go there, because I will if I have to. I will if I have to. Don't make me talk about all those people who aren't here today, who passed away from unfair circumstances from those who were considered as bandits years ago, but now they're considered as criminals. You want to talk about fair balance? You want to talk about patience, kind, long suffering, and providing? Don't get me started. Do not get me started. So when you do your research and you open up your mind and you realize history does have a series of adjustments, it has a track record where you think you know everything in that time versus what you know now, totally different. Totally different. Go back and just think about the people back in 1705. Think about them for a moment. And you come back to them with all the items that you have, your dumb phone, your dumb self-driving car, and your dumb mentality. They're going to be like, wow, this person is smart. Wait a minute. Excuse me. They're going to say, wow, how was you able to do this? Like, whoa, what is this? What is that? You will blow their mind. You will be the most popular person on the face of the planet during that year in time. They will worship you as a god. You go back there with what you know and what you have. They'll be like, what is this word? What are you serious? Like, I don't get this. Whoa, wait. So do you see how far of a distance that there is from this generation or this time versus the days where people were constantly discovering themselves. They were constantly discovering a new type of way to deal with the disease, to deal with death, to deal with struggle, to deal with family, and to deal with their power hungriness or their power struggle. And then you're sitting up there saying, well, God, yesterday, today, and forever. So therefore, what you're saying is this is the pinnacle of the ability of God. That's what you're saying. You're saying what we're dealing with in the Westernized civilization is God's hand. That's what you're saying. But what you don't understand is this is not the hand of God. This is the hands of man, of human. Earth is human's earth. Your creation. You did this. This is your result. So if that's the case, if you got this idea of free will, the free will to destroy yourself, right? But yet you do need help and you still need guidance along the way. Sometimes you are completely ignorant and love provides. It provides you with knowledge and the essential ideas that you need and require to survive. I don't have anything against God. I have something in all and everything against ignorance. I don't have anything against the church or religion. I have everything and anything against ignorance. You get that? It have nothing to do with what you believe on what you think you know. It's about being allowed to put a cloak around your own mind. If you want to do it, fine. I mean, it's almost like this. If you want to blindfold yourself and run out there in the middle of the highway, hey, I mean, go have at it. Have fun with that. That has nothing to do with Morpheus, right? I'm at home. I'm right here outside on my studio talking to speakers. I'm fine. You know, when the ambulance come, I'm not going to feel your pain. You understand? When you got your family member, everybody, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. There's spaghetti all over the highway. Do you understand? That have nothing to do with me. So you should be thinking like this. Okay, why is Morpheus doing this? If it's not for him, why is he doing it? Here we go. Patience, kind, long-suffering, providing, and teaches. Is anybody awake today? So we have nothing. So, oh, this is hate speech. He just don't believe. He don't know nothing about God. He's a backslider, and he just, he had a bad time, and he's the Antichrist. Really? It amazes me. Okay, you go back to the hundreds of my audios, and you let me know if I'm an Antichrist. You let me know with my child loving self. You let me know with my family loving self. You let me know with my people today loving self. You let me know with my life, with my energy, with my time sacrificing self. You let me know. You tell me, do your research, and you let me know who I am. Tell me who I am. I do nothing but love people. That's why I'm doing this, for your sake. It have nothing to do with me, because I don't want to see nothing happen to you. I don't want the blindfolds on you. I want the matrix disconnected from your life. I want that wire broken off the back of your neck. And I'm going to keep swinging. I'm going to keep pulling. I'm going to keep suplexing. And I'm going to keep body slamming Agent Smith until he leaves you alone. Because the most precious thing on the face of this planet, in my eyes, is you. Nothing else matters. I told my girlfriend once upon a time, and I'm just going to throw that out there. I think it's very interesting. I told my girlfriend a long time ago, and I didn't know too much about the red pill or women. And it's amazing I can actually say that right now. And it means something of what it all means. When she got an attitude and she didn't understand something, she thought I was talking bad about her. She thought I was trying to put her down, or I didn't understand what she was going through. I said, listen, why am I here? She couldn't answer that question. She got quiet for a minute. That's what stopped her. She pumped her brakes as if she hit on the emergency brake like you do on a train. She said, what? I said, why am I here? She had to think about it for a second. Am I here to argue with you? I just woke up in the morning and said, I'm going to pick a fight. Is that it? I'm having a bad day and you're going to be my punching bag. Think about it for a moment. If that's the case, why are you in my life? I said, listen, you are in my life to be my partner and my companion. You are here. We are together to be a team member. I will fight the heavens. I will fight the hell. I will argue with anybody else. I will go into a heavy debate or maybe go to the military with nothing but a machete. You understand? But I will not fight you. Everyone else might have the disadvantage of meeting the beast or the monster. This thing that they never heard of existed, but exists. But for you, I won't treat you that way. I'll go out there. I will procure a flower. And that's the only thing you're going to get from me. You're not going to get my aggression. You're not going to get my angry, and you will never see the monster. Because I'm in your life to care about you. That is all I'm here for. We are here together. If you don't like it, I can just leave. Go ahead and jump on the other side of the fence, and I have nothing to do with you. Let's go further with what the church said. In some religions, or you could say in some of the they call it Episcopal, I can't even say the word, Episcopal and Apostolic churches, they'll say this. Let's say, God is not a specter of person. They say God is not a specter of person. Basically, God don't judge. God's not going to judge you based on who you are, based on what color you are, based on what culture you are. Okay. That he just sees you as a soul. That's it. You know, whether you're female, male, child, monkey. Okay. I just see you as a soul. Right. But yet judge you by your deeds. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait. My deeds? Wait a minute. Let's look in this in detail. Let's actually analyze this for a second. In deeds, meaning what you do, whether wrong or right. Okay. Do you understand that the mind of a woman and a man is totally different? No matter what they try to program you, they always love their programming. There's always someone trying to tell you what it is. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, they always trying to tell you something different every year. Well, you know, we are still nah, sit down. Here's my chair. Sit down, turn it and face the corner. Okay, that's for you. When you get done, when the session's over, you can take it home with you. And keep staring at the wall if that will remind you about how out of place you are. We are different. A child's mind is different than an adult's mind. You understand that? One person's reality is going to be different to the next. That's right. What your reality is different than Morpheus's. But we can agree on some things. We can understand some things. We can overstand some things. And we can both come together and probably create a boat. But I won't help you create Noah's Ark. You might as well forget about that. But we'll create a boat, a sensible, decent sized boat. All right. So therefore, there's a variation there. So therefore, it can't go all the way across the board because everybody have their own unique requests and their unique desires. You have your own bandwidth that you operate on. You have your own special needs. like the people in the back of my classroom. You have your own special needs. All right. And therefore, it cannot be all the way across the board. It is not you in a congregation of lost sheep. And you are all judged one way. You are all slandered one way. You are all put in a position one way because it doesn't operate fair or right for you, nor will it probably operate fair or right for her or him or it or the child. It don't work like that. It's senseless and it's illogical. So when you really think about it, when you think about it in detail, judge the specter of person. You're going to have to get personal. What, did God get lazy? You know, he got a secretary. Oh, I forgot the secretary is your pastor. I forgot about that. Yeah. Or your priest. Yeah. You can go to them every now and then, go in the box and talk your own business and go home and do it all over again and never meet the big guy in the sky because he's speaking for them. I forgot about that. That's their fail safe program. So you will never question how come this car never floated. And the sad thing about it is the only time you will envision that happening is when you are doped up on some type of crazy weed, or you are drunk out of your mind, or you are no longer here in the land of the living. And you see these things flash before your face before you are out of here. Never when you are standing on solid ground and you ask the question, you promise me that this car is going to float. Don't lie to me. Don't tell me because you want me to feel good, or you want me to have a plush lifestyle before I pass away. Tell me the truth. Don't play with me. Just tell me the car can't float and you told a story. You don't want to say that because you're making money out of your congregation. That's what happened years ago. It started becoming a form of interest for those in the let's just say in the town or in the village. It start becoming a power trip for those in the village, and it start becoming lucrative from those in the village. Why do you have $1 million churches? Why do you have $1 million churches on $1 million acres? Why? All that stuff can go to children, our families, our hungry mouths, our people in the society, or the congregation. All that space. I can feel like 5 or 6 different houses right here for 5 or 6 different struggling families. Not this big organization to brainwash the society. Mindless. And the first thing you say, I am a minister of God. I don't know what type of God you coming from, but he probably absolutely have 2 horns and a 3-pronged trident. Let's go further because we're getting deep in this, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting deep in this, and you are going to be amazed how far we're going to get in this. Actually, shouldn't be, because who are you talking to? Morpheus. That's what I do. You know I'm going to drag you here. If you don't want to, go. Take the blue pill. Get out of my face. I don't want to see you here again until you are ready. This is the difference between men and boys. If you're a boy, leave. If you're a man, you can handle it. Sit here and listen. Let's go further. They said it. Uh-oh. What did I just say? It. They said God. They keep saying him. They say Lord. They say this guy, big guy in the sky. God, man, God, God, man. When man is actually man and womb man. Because if you look about it and you pay attention, woman have man in her name as well, or her description. Both of you are man. Do you get that? Womb man and man. You're both God. Shut the dumb stuff down. Shut it down today. Take the light switch, turn it off. Shut it down. So it in terms will be it, especially if we're talking about it created all things from it. You understand? Therefore, you can't create something as well as you think it is. Oh, I know everything about you, Adam or Eve. So that means it must be a part of you too, God. So you must be androgynous. I'm being silly here. No, but seriously, it will be more like it, because you got the animals, you got the planet, you got practically everything. It wouldn't be a he thing, but they keep saying, oh, God is he. That's the first thing a person think of. He, man, he. Jesus, man, he. Come down with man, he. As if he's greater than the woman. The man ain't going to be a man without a woman. Woman's not going to be a woman without a man. Uh-oh, somebody don't like that. Somebody don't like that. Let me tell you something. If you are able to, why is it that the opposite sex exists? I'm going to tell you again, shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Don't even go back into the room. It's shut down. Don't be stupid. Pretty much everything exists for a reason. It has its purpose. Okay? Man and womb man come together for a purpose, and it shows you that when there's a little bitty human right there in between them. I know I'm talking too real for somebody today. Somebody don't like it, but you know what? Guess what Morpheus, how Morpheus feels about it. I don't care. I don't. If you haven't grown up, but you just now listen to this, this is mind blowing. That's not my fault. They lied to you. I have nothing to do with them giving you pieces of candy, lying to you, still telling you, oh, there's the tooth fairy. Oh, Santa Claus exists. You want to understand there's an alien over there behind the bush. Don't go over there. It's going to bite you and you're scared for the rest of your life. That's not my fault. It's not my fault that you have not been given steps of advancement before you got here. Here is the graduate level. Too bad. This is for adults. You stepped in the wrong zone, buddy. The wrong zone. Take it one day at a time. Just breathe. So let's say that they were right. Let's calm down for a minute, right? Okay. He forgives you of your sins. Okay. That's supposed to be the golden thing, right? So it's supposed to be the fall. I just told you about the fall is the fall of man and man passing away and so forth and so on. Okay. Yeah, we get that, right? We all understand that part. Then they're talking about, well, let me forgive you of your sins and your transgressions for what Adam and Eve did. And now it's about the other things that you do based on their summed up 10 commandments that they stole somewhere. I don't tell you where they took it from. You should already know. And came up with this so-called King James version to make you think they were the the authors. They were the genuine articles, which is actually just kindling for fire. Really. It'll make those flames flame up pretty good. But then you ask yourself, okay, so if you are forgiven of your sins, you've been baptized, you've been delivered, as some people think, you had your tests and your trials, you struggle, you be okay, how come I'm still struggling? How come I'm still dealing with, how come this is happening to me? And, you don't ever question that. I'm still the same person I used to be. I went down in the water. I just came up cold and I'm freezing, but I still got to go home and pay my bills. Yeah. Yes, you do. Yeah, you're right. I'm still with a drunk wife. I'm still with a drunk husband. My child is still flunking class. Yeah. My car is still rusty. Yeah. I'm still riding the bus back and forth to work. I'm still struggling in my work. I'm still living alone. I'm still lonely. I'm still hurting. I still got this headache. I still got this cancerous cell in my body. I thought I was forgiven of my sin. Don't he realize these things are going to kill me? We're going to get to that in just for a moment. No, it's not about what God needs to realize. It's what you need to realize. And we're going to realize this together. Now, I do realize as a teacher, you are supposed to take one stage at a time. You're supposed to do baby walks before you get to this place. And I said it best. I really said it best a few minutes ago, that you have been misled. If it's a struggle for you, it's because you aren't used to hearing this. And this is something that you have to go through a class for. You got to learn where I'm coming from first. You have to study what this information is that's being beamed into you. And this is why I decided to call this learning in a session of ours, the Academy of Wowmen, because you got to go to the first class before you get to this point. At this point, you would think that most people are like, yeah, I kind of figured that out. I grew up. Yeah, I heard that from my grandpa. I heard that from my mom. I heard that from somebody across the street. I heard that from somebody somewhere in a different country. But it goes to show there is a lot of people who aren't willing to share these factors. They don't question anything. They don't look at the gaps in the wall. In the Matrix, they have, what do you call that? Deja vu. And I made an audio on this, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's not going to be the lesson. No, you need to go back to that classroom. I'm not going to reteach my lesson. When you see a deja vu, that's telling you that's your time to look up and say, wait a minute. What's going on? Wait a minute. What's that? That's time for you to question. That's time for you to stop what you're doing and think. And use that flashback moment. Use that moment where you say, wait a minute, maybe I did this before. Wait a minute. Wait. Something's strange. Did I just have this conversation before somewhere in the past? Did I meet this person before? Did I stand in the spot and then come back here again? If you don't question it, You're lost. You're gone. There are so many people who don't do it. They go by every day. They stuck on their pot. They're drinking. They're smoking. They're so drugged up. They're full of medications. They're too busy being misled by the dumb TV. They're too busy being captured up in what everybody else is saying, where when reality comes, it's like, oh, I don't care. Nothing happened. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to go with the program. Whatever they say it is, I'll do it. And so they'll do this until they're like 45, 56, 60 years old. And now they're your elders. They're your ancestors. They're older than you now. And you think that at that time they'll tell you something about their experience. No, they're going to tell you everything that they know about your world that you already know. No, they're gonna continue the rat wheel and say, well, I'm just gonna be hum-glum dodo bird. I'm just gonna go ahead and just because I only got a few more good years, I just want to live in peace. So I'm just gonna go along with the program. I'm not even gonna question it. So what? Whatever happens, happens. Agent Smith come and whack me off. I just be whacked off. And while you're sitting there growing, you little bitty girl and you're 18 years old, but you're like, hey, daddy, but. Well, I guess he won't be your daddy. He'd be more like your grandpa or your great-great-grandpa. Man, but grandpa, like didn't you experience something in your past life? Yeah, I did, but I forgot. What? I mean, aren't you going to share something with me, grandpa? I mean, do you know? I mean, you've been here for 60, 70 years. What do you know about God in church? Well, you know what the pastor said. It's just what the pastor said. You're like, come on, dude. Now you got to grow up and struggle and figure it out for yourself. You understand? Instead of him sitting you down, be like, honey, baby, come over here, sit on grandpa's lap. Let me tell you something. And pull out a book. When they say this in the church, it actually means because this and this and this and this happened, that blam, blam, scoop, 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 scoop. They don't want to do that. Too much work. Because if you lazy at the age of 20, 30, 40, and you ain't never got the memo yet, what makes you think you're going to be physically active or active in your mind when you're 50, 60 years old? Get the hell out of here. Get out. Go. You want to go rest? Go rest. Go rest in peace. Do what you want to do. Don't come mess with us over here. Over here is about evolution and learning something different. So the fact is, when you don't meet those people and you hear somebody like Morpheus, it'll blow your mind. You're like, wait a minute. Where is he getting this information? Yeah, your grandpa had it. Your grandma did too. You know what they did? They did not question. I did. I didn't sit down and let somebody spoon feed me. You know what they did when they put a spoon in my face? I grabbed the spoon and look at it and say, wait a minute. What's on this? What's on this? What's on this stuff? What's the ingredients in it? Oh, it's good for you, babe. No. I'm not going to take because you say it's good for me. I want to know it's good for myself. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to evaluate it. Let me study what this junk is before I put it in my mouth. It's too easy for people to do that. You know what you do? You close your eyes and you just swallow it. I don't care. And choke, get a disease, get cancer, diabetes, get fat, out of shape, Alzheimer's. The list goes on. Create special ed children. Create autism from your own genetics because you just want to swallow everything and never question. You understand how deep this thing is? The moment you start questioning and you get your answers, you better give it to somebody else. Get the information, give it to somebody else so they don't suffer, so their child don't suffer. And then they'll say, you know what? Grandpa loved me. Grandpa, he's not even my grandpa, but you know what? He still loved me, and he's a totally different culture. He's a totally different guy from a different generation. He's from a totally different side of town. This guy is somewhere in Washington, D.C. I'm in Florida, and he cared about me. You dang straight. That grandpa won't do it. This grandpa over here will. That's how you do it. So we support each other. So tomorrow is going to be a brighter place. You dig? Come here and thinking I'm talking this. Your grandpa should have been saying this. I'm doing what they should have done. You don't like it? Too bad. Take your time and read a book sometime. Go to your library and look at his story. Stop listening to his story. Boy, I get fired up sometime. That's just what I do. That's what I do. Oh, Morphe, you emotional. No, I'm passionate. That's all. I love what I do. because it makes sense. And somebody every day, they're going to be broken away from the matrix. One person equates to practically everything. I have accomplished my mission. The more eyes and ears that I awaken, people are, oh, wow. Oh my God, that's so true. Yes, I get it now. You know what? My job is done. I did my task, and it is justifiable to rejoice. It's justifiable to be passionate about. It's a happy time to sit back and blow candles and everything else, balloons, and have a party when one person's eyes come open amongst the many. Because that's what we need to make a brighter future for those and to change the pace of this downslope society and the degrade and the de-evolving humanity that we are today. Don't want to ride along? That's all right. I got a caboose for you in the back seat. I'm going to make a part 3. Part 3 session is coming, and it's still on the same topic. I got to cut it up in segments like this to make this thing work out properly for you and for me. So let's go to the third session here, the third class, and we're going to go deeper with this. So hold your thumb on your tab here.